Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us on this webinar where Dr. Ocker will be answering your questions on Neogenesis Health Products. I'm Elizabeth, your presenter, and I'll be handing you over to Dr. Ocker in a few minutes. Just to let you know that this webinar is being recorded, and we'll be sending you a recording, so if you have to leave or you want to go over the information again, you'll be able to watch the recording later. We have received some questions. Thank you for sending them in. Dr. Ocker will be answering them, and we'll be answering any questions that you may have during the webinar. To post questions during this webinar, you'll see a panel on your screen. Please locate the questions box or the questions panel and type in OK, so I know that you found it okay, and type any questions that you have throughout the webinar in the box. I'll endeavour to answer them throughout. If not, we'll have a question and answer session at the end. Also, the full screen button, which is usually the third button down, is the best way to view the webinar. So let's join Dr. Ocker now. Hello, Dr. Ocker, thank you for joining us today. Are you ready for some questions?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Elizabeth. All right, and thank you everyone for joining us for this webinar. So if you've looked through the training manual provided with the course, you would have noticed specific products by Neogenesis Health that are mentioned under the interventions. Now these are products that I've been using personally in my own practice, and they're also used by most of the live blood practitioners in South Africa. Now, before we start, let me just give you some background on how the product range was initially developed. About 15 years or so ago, I was in practice with a few other natural health practitioners, and one of the other practitioners was actually a herbalist who had a large dispensary of tinctures. At the time, he was making herbal formulations for me to use in my practice and for the most common live blood anomalies. And we tested and made changes to the formulations as I was using them. And over the course of a few years, we had 11 tincture formulas that worked very well in addressing the most common live blood anomalies. I had actually had better results in practice with these formulas than any other product that I'd used before. And there are also a few reasons why. One of the most important reasons why these products worked so well is actually it comes down to extract strength. Most tinctures are produced to have a 1 to 10 or 1 in 10 extract strength, whereas these tinctures that we use have a 1 in 5 to a 1 in 3 extract strength. The challenge with most tinctures, especially when it comes to formulations, where there are more than one herb, combined in a formula, is that there's just not enough active ingredient of each individual herb at the recommended dose to achieve results. So I was seeing amazing results with these products in my own practice, and at the time we had about 30 to 40 locally trained live blood analysis practitioners. So we decided to make these products available to them. So that is actually how the product range was initially formed. And now we have nearly 80 products in the range that include not only tinctures, but also a range of capsules, transdermal vitamins, as well as a liquid probiotic. We supply to natural health practitioners and about 500 independent health stores and pharmacies in South Africa, as well as direct to the public through our website. Some of the products are actually the top sellers in many of our outlets, and they outperform many of the well-known international brands. And our practitioners have had great results with them in practice as well, often in cases where other natural products, as well as conventional medicines, have failed. So for example, many practitioners who have used our natural antibiotic called Limaria have said that it is the best natural antibiotic that they've ever used. And now with the research being conducted in Germany on Artemisia annua, which is the active ingredient in Limaria, and COVID-19, Lamaria has overtaken all of the other products and has become our most popular product of the range.
Dr. Ocker, are they available in Portugal?
Well, we will come to that. Yes, so the products are available. We are able to send to practitioners, and we also have another option where practitioners can order products directly through our website using a specific code, and the products will be shipped directly to their clients. So those options are available, but it is also important just to check regulations in your own country, on the importation of health products. Usually, if it's a small enough order to that can be regarded as products for personal use, there aren't any major issues. In some countries, we're able to send larger products, larger orders with a much higher volume of products without any issues. But it is important to check that there won't be any restrictions. We have had issues with sending. I think the biggest problem we had was with sending products to Denmark, and it was just not allowed into the country, and it was a fairly small order. So I think in some countries, especially in the EU, there are some countries that have very strict regulations about health products going into the country. So it is something that should be checked.
Thank you. And you mentioned research in Germany on Lamaria. Can you give us some more information on this, please?
Yeah, sure. The research is not actually being done on Lamaria specifically, but on the active ingredient in Lamaria, which is Artemisia annua, or Chinese wormwood. It's actually been in the news as well, if you've sort of had a look around, but the research is being conducted by the Max Planck Institute of Colloids and Interfaces in Germany, and they're testing a specific extract of Artemisia annua produced by Artemi Life in the US. Now, they've actually already shown in vitro studies that the extract is active against the COVID-19 virus, and human studies are now going to start at the University of Kentucky's Academic Medical Center. So we're really looking forward to seeing more results, of this research.
Absolutely. You mentioned that the products were originally developed for live blood analysis, but they're also sold by health stores and through your website. So they're not just specifically for use in live blood analysis, is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. So, and you'll also see this in the training manual that there are quite a few of the products listed as as specific protocols in the manual under the interventions, but not all of the products from the entire range. The original 11 tincture products were originally developed to address the most common anomalies in live blood analysis, but the rest of the products, and even to a certain extent the 11 tinctures, can be used in any case, even if the practitioner didn't do live blood analysis, provided that the product is suitable for the case. Live blood analysis just makes it very easy to work out what needs to be treated in a case. But many people know that they need something for their liver, for example, or something for their joints, and they then buy the relevant product. The capsule range has been formulated like this, to address specific conditions or specific health challenges.
There are a few very interesting and unique products in the range. What were the principles behind developing the other products and adding new products to the range?
Yeah, so when we started, started branching out and started to add new products to the range, after the initial 11 tincture products, there were two, and they still are, two core principles that sort of define the products in the range. Now those are firstly health products of distinction, and also secondly products that are unique, pure and effective. So all products in the range have to align with those two principles. So when we develop a new product, we don't just launch another, probiotic, for example, or just another artichoke supplement. We always need something to be quite unique and also pure and effective. So, for example, the herbal extracts in our capsule range are produced using a special extraction process that uses no chemical solvents and produces an extract with a very high yield of active ingredients. We didn't just want to buy commercial extracts to produce, our capsule products. Now, there's also, there's actually a movement that is gaining momentum amongst people across the world, specifically with regards to food. People are starting to ask where the food that they're consuming came from. They're interested to know exactly where the food was produced, how it was grown, how it was produced, what was used in the growing and production of the food. Not only if it was organically grown, but also if the whole chain of production of the food was fair to all the people involved in the production process, and also if it was kind to the planet. Now, this is extremely important to the health of people and, to the planet, but it's also crucially important to ask the same questions about the supplements and the natural medicines that you're taking. We won't really worry about asking these questions about conventional medicines because we already know the answers. But in terms of natural medicines, people often don't ask enough questions. Knowing how the product was produced is extremely important, especially when you're taking an extract of a herb where several kilograms or pounds of the raw herb was required to produce, just one bottle of the product. So the active ingredients are then taken in concentrated form in an extract. But also one has to remember that the other contaminants will also be concentrated during the extraction process. Many practitioners are, of course, already aware of this, but it's not always possible to get this information. Many manufacturers buy commercial extracts that are produced in China, and despite the certificate of analysis that come with these extracts, we simply don't know how these extracts were produced and how much of the active ingredients of the herb actually made it into the extract. So in our manufacturing, we have a seed to capsule process. The herbs are grown organically in a pristine environment in the Magaliesberg Mountains. It's on the platinum belt here where the soil is rich in an abundance of minerals and micronutrients, and humic acid and earthworm castings are used to further enrich the soil. The herbs are grown and harvested at the correct times, and this is also something that's actually quite interesting. When it comes to medicinal plants, the active ingredients in specific herbs are concentrated in specific parts of the plant and at specific times of the day. So this means that there's actually an ideal time for harvesting. If the particular part of the plant is not harvested at the correct time, then the concentration of the active ingredients will not be as high as it should be. So there are all these factors and all these variables that have to be taken into account when producing a herbal product, to ensure its efficacy.
And that is what it's all about, isn't it? We want products that are effective and produce results.
Yes, absolutely. And there are, so many people out there that are on conventional medicines because they, tried a natural product and they didn't see the results that they, were expecting. And unfortunately, there are, all these factors that can affect the efficacy of a natural product. So they don't always work as well as they should. And this is also one of the other unique things about the range, that we are able to test the products in our own practices using live blood analysis to ensure that they produce the results that they should.
So many of our attendees have asked if they can order these products and what is the best way to get them. Can you please give us some more information on this?
Yes, absolutely. So we have a price list available specifically for our attendees that will allow them to order the products at a special agent price, which is actually lower than the normal wholesale price. Now, this discounted rate is to help offset the cost of shipping, as shipping tends to be quite costly. Practitioners can also order directly from us then and stock the products in their practices. As I mentioned earlier, there are some regulations in some countries regarding importing and reselling herbal supplements. Where we've had problems so far, the only two places really have been Canada and Denmark. So it is a good idea just to look into the regulations before placing an order, or to perhaps start with a small order and see if there, if there is an issue. The order that we had for Denmark, I mentioned, was quite small, and we actually saw that we were unable to send it even before it was sent out. So that wasn't a major problem. We just basically refunded the client. Now, when it comes to large orders, it's quite important to look into this. Smaller orders are usually fine because we would declare it as products for personal use. Now, what we've done fairly recently to help overcome, these issues and these challenges is to actually set up a type of drop shipping model where practitioners can have their clients order directly from our website, or the practitioner orders on behalf of their clients. So we then create a unique discount code for the practitioner, which is used when placing orders on the website. And the discount code will then apply a 10% discount on the order, and the order will be shipped directly to the client. Now, when we use the discount code, we can use the code on our side to track the orders that are placed by the practitioner's clients or by the practitioner to calculate the practitioner's commission. So the commission is basically just the difference between the agent price and the retail price on the website. So essentially, the practitioner's margin would still be the same as if they were selling the products out of their own practices.
This is a great option because many practitioners prefer not to keep any stock in their practices, and also makes use of online stores that have this option available to practitioners. So that's a great option.
Absolutely, yes. It's very convenient, because and it's becoming a lot more popular these days. It gets rid of many of the hassles and headaches of having a dispensary, such as checking stock levels, having enough space in your practice for stock, checking expiry dates and all those issues, and of course the costs involved with ordering stock.
So what do practitioners need to do if they want to make use of this option?
Right, so they simply would just need to send us an email to let us know. We'll then create the discount code. If you have a specific preference as to what the code should be, if you want to use the name of your practice rather than your personal name in the code, we can do that for you as well.
Thank you. Are the products suitable for vegans?
Yes, most of them are. All the capsules are veggie caps, and all the products in the range are suitable for vegans, with the exception just of two, and that's Orthoflex, which contains a substance produced from eggs, and Lumbrazyme, which contains an enzyme sourced from earthworms.
And what about additives such as gluten, GMOs?
Yes, and none of the products contain any gluten, GMOs, dairy, flavorants, or any other additives. We use trace amounts of non-GMO cornstarch in the herbal extract products, just to allow the extracts to flow better, so we're able to get the extracts into the capsules. In the products where fillers are needed, we use fillers that actually have some type of health benefit, such as ionic trace minerals and inulin. Now this relates to the unique, pure, and effective principle behind our products. If we use artificial additives and GMOs and so on, we really can't go around calling these products pure.
And we have a question here about contraindications. Are there any contraindications for any of the products?
Generally, no. Most of the products can be used safely with other conventional medicines. The only exception to that really is when someone is on warfarin. As you might know, warfarin interacts with just about anything, even green leafy vegetables and vitamin C. So not suitable for people who are on warfarin, but other blood thinners like the cardiac aspirins that people take are fine. The other contraindication is, of course, pregnancy and breastfeeding. We usually recommend that people avoid all herbal products during pregnancy and breastfeeding. And there are the specific precautions and contraindications for each product are listed on the label and on the website, but those are the most important ones to bear in mind.
Thank you. And do the tinctures contain alcohol?
Yes, that's a good question. The tinctures do contain alcohol. They are produced according to the German pharmacopoeia. Now we actually use a special type of ethanol produced from sugarcane, and also then use a trace element enriched sole water to achieve the correct alcohol strength for each of the herbs that are being extracted. So due to the alcohol content, if you have clients that can't use alcohol, the tincture products would then be contraindicated.
And can the products be combined or taken at the same time?
Yes, they've been designed to work together and to work synergistically. The tinctures can be added to the same cup of water and taken at the same time. It's quite common that a client who has had a live blood analysis session would need more than one tincture product. For example, the detox protocol has them taking the hepaton, the Lymflax, and Nephrosil at the same time.
Oh, well, thank you very much for that, Dr. Ocker. That was very informative. I'm sure it was helpful to everyone. We seem to have come to the end of the questions. So if you have any more questions, please put them in the questions box now. They do sound rather wonderful. We'll be sending you the recording of this webinar. If you have any further questions, email them to Dr. Ocker at orders@neogenhealth.com, and you'll also find more information on the website www.neogenhealth.com. Do you have anything to add to that, Dr. Ocker?
Well, just if you are interested, we do have a link to the catalog of the products also on the website. And if you would like to order in the products at the agent prices that we mentioned, just also send us an email and just let us know, and then we'll send you that price list through.
Okay, thank you. So as I say, we'll be sending you the recording of this webinar. And if you have any further questions, then please send them to orders@neogenhealth.com. And for more information, please go to the brochure at www.neogenhealth.com. So we hope this has been helpful to you, and thank you very much for joining us. So thank you, Dr. Ocker, and thank you from myself. Thank you, Dr. Ocker.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ciao. Bye-bye.